Plaintiff Andrew Karsh is suing his former friend, Carrie Fox, for unpaid rent and cleaning costs. Andrew says the defendant is an ex-Hollywood actor who moved into his home and then cluttered his room and his orchard with his personal property. But Carrie says he is a working actor who is very much a part of show business. Carrie says he has paid the plaintiff everything he's owed.
Andrew Karsh is suing Carrie Fox, his former friend, for unpaid rent and cleaning costs. How are you today?
I believe we're still friends.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. That's a good start. All right. Hopefully we'll be friends at the end of this. All right, Andrew, why are you suing your friend? Is he your friend?
He's wannabe. Wannabe friends.
So he's that's not a good start. All right. Why are you suing him?
Well, Your Honor, I did become a friend of Carrie's. I met him through a mutual friend, was my ex, and she's a psychologist. And how I met him was in a casino. We were there, and I live out in the hills by Indian casinos. And so Carrie's he's a poker player, and he also likes gambling. And what happened was, he's an ex-Hollywood actor.
Your Honor, I'm still active within the business.
Are you?
Pretty major motion pictures and television and things like that.
Really? Like what kind of stuff have you done?
I did a Stephen King film called The Firestarter.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, Your Honor, it didn't affect his ability to pay rent. So let's put it this way: he's kind of washed up Hollywood actor from what I could see. He never had any income except for gambling. So,
well, wait a minute. You took him in. Why'd you take him in?
Well, Your Honor, the reason why this happened, he had a son who was also a childhood actor. He's one of the Disney kids, and his son was in a facility down in San Diego. So Carrie would come and visit his son, and he would stay at our house. He'd come by and play poker on the laptop for hours at a time, and we became friends. And what happened was I ended up in the hospital. I had a real tragic accident. I have a picture here if you want to see it.
What happened to you?
I ended up with something called MRSA. It was a bacteria, flesh-eating bacteria.
How'd you get that?
I almost died, and I was in a coma. That's a picture of me in a coma. And then, so when I got out, while I was in the hospital, almost dying, Carrie moved into my house.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, very, very much so.
How do you catch that?
MRSA is a bacteria.
Toilet seat.
Yeah, toilet seats. You can get it in gas pumps. That's why you should always wash your hands. And I got the worst kind, was a flesh-eating bacteria.
Oof.
So
all right, what's that got to do with him?
Well, I was in the hospital. So when I was in the hospital, on one of his trips, we had been talking about him maybe renting a room. And
actually, Your Honor, when he was in the hospital, after he was in a coma for 2 weeks, he nearly died, and I felt really bad for him. But I visited him when he came out of the coma, and originally he says, this has been really a trip. We should write a script, and I'm also a writer. And so we had made an arrangement where I would write a script in exchange for a room at his place. And then eventually he called me back and said that he couldn't afford it, that his financial status was very bad. He's in danger of losing his house. And so we agreed that I would pay cash for a room.
And did you?
Yes.
What was the agreement?
The agreement was originally $700 for 2 rooms, and then it went to $700 for 1 room. And
did you have anything in writing?
Your Honor, when I was in the hospital,
yes or no?
my father,
did you have anything in writing? No. Okay. So you agreed to lease him or rent him a room?
He ended up renting a room.
All right.
So once he moved in, though, then it became a nightmare of trying to collect rent every month. And
okay, when did he? What paperwork do you have? Anything?
Yes.
Okay, when did you move in, Carrie?
I believe in July of last year.
So what do you owe him in rent?
Well, at this point, actually, I don't believe I owe him anything.
Okay, what does he owe you in rent?
Okay, I have a rental breakdown right here, Your Honor. A total unpaid rent of $1,418. That was based on 2 months of rent, and then some partial rent. So that's the breakdown. And then I have cleaning costs, the cleanup of all the mess, and I have pictures of all the stuff. What happened is he moved all his things into my property, and we ended up putting them in my orchard. So I to this day, I have an orchard full of property. And here's photographs.
Those are the things that he put down in the orchard, and then he started to charge money for storage because he's so desperate for cash.
Here's the letter.
And then originally it was okay. It was safe and secure in the basement, which he calls his tool shop. And then he thought his girlfriend was going to be moving back in, that he needed the space, so he took my things and just dumped them down in the bottom of the property.
What am I looking at here?
And wanted to charge money for where it was being destroyed.
Andrew, what am I looking at?
That's the orchard before he moved his stuff in.
There's nothing in it.
And here's the orchard afterwards.
This is how he stored it down there, how he put all my things out in the rain.
This is the orchard with his things?
That's all his things.
He took everything and just tossed them down there, broke picture frames, artwork, mirrors, full-length ceiling to floor mirrors. He'd let people come through and just take things, and they would go through the Tupperware, take off the lids, and throw things all around.
What is this?
That's Carrie borrowing my truck and trailer to unload all storage facilities at my house. Yes.
To unload storage facility?
Yeah,
what
he
does
had
that mean?
storage all around San Diego.
He said, go ahead and bring it here.
And who put the stuff in the orchard?
Mr. Karsh did.
That's not true. Only some of it was put in the orchard. He unloaded it down there. I allowed him to, because he wouldn't pay for storage fees, I stored all his things in my basement for 3 months without any income or fees, and I got it out of there and put it in the orchard. I had to learn how to walk. I was in a wheelchair when I got out of the hospital, and I physically moved all his things into the orchard. And then
You just said he put some of the things in the orchard.
He moved everything down there and threw it all around.
No, that's not true.
Broke a lot of things.
I did move a few things, but primarily he unloaded his storage into there.
Let me ask you a question, Carrie. How is it that you ended up moving in with the plaintiff?
Well, I met him through his ex-girlfriend.
Right.
And his location was close to a facility that my son was at. And it was.
And this was your son, the actor?
Yes.
The child actor.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that made it convenient and easier for me to visit him.
At some point, there's a problem, and you're not paying him the $700 a month.
No, he's getting his money, but it's not always on the 14th because it was handled through my ex.
What month did he stop paying rent?
The rent was always trickle paid, and because we were friends at the time, I accepted the payments as he won a jackpot or when his wife visited from out of town and helped out. She would pay a partial. She'd pay me a $200 there, $300 there. He'd give me cash.
Carrie.
Yes.
Your stuff's in the orchard. Does it rain?
Yeah, it's been getting ruined.
Okay, so what
I
are you
asked
going
him
to do
if I
with
could
it?
borrow his truck to try to move some of it, and he
That's not
refused.
his job.
Yeah, but
You know
it
that.
was. I had rented a truck to get it out, and I had to keep
Carrie.
it extra days.
Carrie.
Yes.
Stop talking. Your stuff is in the orchard.
Yes, it is.
People are going through your stuff.
Yeah.
It's raining on your stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, your stuff is rusting. Your stuff is broken.
Ruined.
Your stuff is a disaster.
Right.
Okay? Throw it out. Okay?
Right.
Or pick it up and take it somewhere else.
And that's what happened.
He doesn't want. I know you have to do that. You had to do that months ago. Okay? Why are you doing this to yourself?
Your Honor, at the time, I had no way to do that. Actually, I had to go back to Los Angeles, and
What about your wife?
She's in Los Angeles.
Will she help you?
Oh yeah, I mean, but it was raining. There was all kinds of circumstances.
No kidding, it's raining.
Why I couldn't move it?
Yeah,
at
the
the time.
cars work even if it's raining. That's what windshield wipers are for.
Right. And so I'm gonna have to move it when I get back. But I never put anything down in the orchard.
He put it in the orchard.
Put it
So
all
why
down
aren't
there
you
and then
suing
threw it
him?
all around.
Why don't you sue him for destroying your property?
Well, because I consider
Because you
him
like
a
the
friend.
guy.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like the
stop
guy.
with this. You like him. He doesn't like you. He's suing you. He's messing up your property. Sue him back. I'm going to amend your non-complaint and make it a complaint. You are going to countersue him for destroying your property.
All right.
Okay? You're going to be sorry you came into this place. Now,
Actually, Your Honor,
this is ridiculous.
Your Honor, I did not put that in the orchard.
Oh, it got there by itself. It walked down.
He
there.
unloaded his storage into the
You
orchard.
just
No, I didn't-
told
I
me.
didn't take
Stop
that
talking.
down.
The first
Stop talking.
load.
When you're winning, stop talking.
After
You
3
just
months,
told me you came out of the hospital. You got the thing with your leg
Yeah.
and the disease, and you're walking the stuff down. Don't contradict
I'm
yourself.
saying the first load, yeah, but there were 3 loads.
Okay. Do you think you owe him partial rent of $228 for September?
He was given $700 cash.
For September, prove it. You can't.
I don't have the receipts. No.
Okay, you can't prove it. All right. Did he pay you any money for September, Andrew?
The breakdowns I have in writing,
You're suing him for $228.
that was left over.
Okay, so I'm
balance
going to
of
assume
rent.
that's accurate.
It is accurate.
Okay. October, $595.
Correct.
Okay, you owe him $595 for October?
No, he was given a check for
how
October. Much? I think it was for $500.
Don't look at him. He's suing you. You think he's going to agree with you? Issue for the court. It is undisputed that the defendant rented a room from the plaintiff. The defendant is claiming that he paid X number of dollars, but he doesn't have any proof to back up what his complaint is. So I have to take the plaintiff at his word. Okay. Now, the cleaning costs, $1,177. Tell me, Andrew, what did you clean?
Okay, here's a picture of a dresser that was in the room and the condition it was left. I had to repatch and paint the entire room. No, Your Honor, that is cigarette ashes, dirt, burns.
That was like that when I was there, Your Honor.
Let me ask you a question, Andrew. Was he living in the room in October? Was there any room for him to sleep?
The entire month. Well, he had an aisleway to the...
What did he do, sleep in the aisle?
No, he had a bed.
There was a bed. Did he ever live in the orchard?
Your Honor, about a week ago, I heard his car at 3 a.m. I believe he was in the orchard that night. I don't know if he was going through his things or sleeping.
Yeah, I went through some things.
At 3 a.m, I don't get up.
Let me ask you a question, Kerry. Why are you going through the orchard at 3 a.m? What's going on with you?
I had just gotten into town and I wanted to see what had happened because he said he thought some people had been down there.
Why didn't you wait till you could see?
Well, I had just gotten into town, so I wanted to see right away. And there were plenty of things that had been destroyed, gone through. He just let people go down there and steal things.
Did you call the cops and say he put your stuff out there and therefore...
No, Your Honor, I didn't want to involve. I still, like I said, considered him a friend. So.
Are you depressed, Kerry?
I've been going through a little bit of depression, yes. Some major events that I really don't want to discuss.
I understand. And I'm not going to force you to discuss them. But what you need to do is you need to take care of yourself. And you have an obligation to do whatever you can. Whether you're in the movies or not in the movies, I don't care. Get a job at a fast food restaurant. Get yourself a little truck and pick this stuff up. He shouldn't have to live with this. And I think you're both a little nuts, to be honest with you.
Okay.
All right. The cleaning costs, $1,100 based on what, Andrew?
Okay, there's already been a lot of work done. The painting of the room, the cleaning of all the carpeting, the refurbishment of all the furniture. Here's a picture of it now.
That should have been done before I moved in, and I never complained. The carpet was like somebody was like butchered on the carpet. And there was like wax all over the carpet.
You can see the pictures. And
from
then
the candle burnings. The tops of the he made the dresser, and it had been used before I got there. So, I mean, I don't know.
All right, so what'd you do? Clean the rug or buy a new rug?
I completely cleaned it with steam cleaner, like scrubbed it.
So how much did that cost you, Andrew?
Oh, I rented a steam cleaner. I spent $100,
Yeah, all right.
And then I basically had to repaint. It was a couple hundred to repaint and patch. Then I had to, I called U-Haul, it's called 800 Haul Junk.
Yeah, do you have a receipt?
And they quoted me $548.
Do you have a receipt?
For a dumpster. I haven't paid for it yet.
Do you have an estimate?
$548 for the dumpster.
Do you have an estimate to give me?
I don't have it in writing.
You got to prove your case. Just like he can't prove his case, you got to prove your case.
Okay, logically, yes. I got that over the phone.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you $873 for unpaid rent. The total cleaning costs, I'm going to give you not $1,177. I'm going to give you $848. But I'm also going to award you $1,000. All right. Now, what you're going to do with that $1,000, Kerry, is you are going to get yourself a truck, and you are going to clean up that mess. It's your stuff. All right? You're going to get it and clean it up. You didn't ask for anything. I've amended your complaint to give you money for items that I believe were unnecessarily tossed out that belong to you. You got to move on, Kerry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Life delivers a lot of blows. You know it. And you got to pick yourself up no matter how hard it seems. And I wish you luck. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
So ordered.
Thank you.